Welcome to Viking.TV. I'm your host, Todd Walker, and today we have arrived at the beautiful port city of Duluth, Minnesota. Look at these views. This is beautiful. Where did all the wealth come from? I mean, this place is amazing.
I must say this has really been a terrific experience.
Join me as we explore this beautiful port city of Duluth, Minnesota. I've arrived at the Split Rock Lighthouse, which is about 45 minutes from your ship. The lighthouse is 60 feet tall, sits on a cliff that's 120 feet, and it's 32 steps to the top. So I'm ready to take on the challenge. Come on along. Well, Hayes, this is pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
I mean, those 32 steps. Let me get a little breath here. All right, so Hayes, when the Viking guests arrive, tell us a little bit about the experience.
Yeah, so when they arrive, we have a 13-minute film that they get to experience. We've got a brand new exhibit gallery they can take in. They get to climb the top of the tower, and they get to take in all the other historic buildings on the site.
Okay, so a little bit of the history of this lighthouse. I mean, it's really kind of this iconic figure that you see right when you get coming up towards Two Harbors.
Yeah, so Split Rock was started after a 1905 storm. Started construction in 1909, completed in 1910. It served as an active aid to navigation for about 50 years. And then it was decommissioned in 1969, and then they've been serving guests actually probably since the early 1900s when the Coast Guard was here with the lighthouse service. It's been a popular tourist stop for all this time. It's just been a great spot.
All right, other than the lighthouse, what will people see when they get up here?
Yeah, they can get to tour all of the historic buildings. That includes the lighthouse, the first keeper's house, the oil house, a couple ruins and foundations, and then also the tramway building, and they can take in all of the trails that are around, that surround us in the state park.
An hour outside of Duluth on Scenic Highway 61 is Gooseberry Falls, a great place for hiking, picnicking. You might even see some wildlife. And of course, you can't leave without seeing the falls. Viking guests who extend their stay here in Duluth by maybe coming a little bit earlier or staying a little bit longer will have time here at the Grand Superior Lodge, be able to check out the beautiful surroundings and of course the amazing views of Lake Superior and enjoy a wonderful lunch using local ingredients. Wow, this looks pretty amazing. I'm ready to dig in right now, but I better wait. I'm here with Sarah from Odyssey Resorts. Sarah, this is a sampling of what the Viking guests will have an opportunity to try once they arrive. Is that right?
Absolutely. They have a taste of Minnesota right here for them.
All right, let's start right over here. What do we have?
We've got our walleye sandwich.
Wow. Oh, that looks like a beautiful piece of walleye. Okay.
Guests have a choice of our chicken wild rice soup or a house salad with lingonberry dressing.
And what do we have here?
Here we've got our turkey club with bacon on our cranberry and wild rice bread.
What lunch is complete without a beautiful dessert? What is this?
This is our house-made family recipe, strawberry rhubarb crisp.
All right.
Enjoy.
I gotta tell you, I can't resist giving this a shot. Well, Sarah, I want you to give me a tour around the rest of the property, okay?
Let's go take a look.
Wow, Sarah, you were not kidding. Look at these views. This is beautiful. I bet when the Viking guests come out here, they spend a lot of time on this deck just looking over the beautiful Lake Superior.
Absolutely.
So tell me, what is it that you think brings people up here to the North Shore, to Duluth, year after year, winter, spring, summer, or fall?
Well, as you can see, with over 1,300 square feet of shoreline, the view is ever changing. It's absolutely spectacular. You can sit down, enjoy the view, look for some rocks, take home a little memory from Minnesota.
Do a little skipping of the rocks as well?
Absolutely, it's a Minnesota tradition.
All right, so put you on the spot here. So what is your favorite season to be standing here looking over the lake?
You know, I really love how this blends from spring to summer. You'll see the blue sky comes out, as you can hear in the background, a loon. So the wildlife is out. You might see a bear or a little fawn crossing with mama. So you never know what you're going to see.
I'm sold, Sarah. Thank you for the great tour. Speaking of tours, our tour of the North Shore and Duluth has just begun. One of the most visited house museums in the upper Midwest is the Glensheen Mansion, right behind me here. It sits on 12 acres. It was built for $854,000, which today would be $28 million. There's 39 rooms. I, for one, am anxious to see what's inside the Glensheen Mansion. The Glensheen Mansion is only about probably 10 minutes from where your ship will be docked. I'm now entering the dining room of the Glensheen Mansion, and I'm joined here by the director, Dustin. How are you, Dustin?
Good. How are you, Todd?
I'm terrific. So first of all, tell me a little bit about the history of the Glensheen Mansion.
So yeah, the Glensheen Mansion was built by Chester and Clara Congdon. They had met each other out in Syracuse, New York at Syracuse University. They're part of the first graduating class there. So they had met there, fell in love, and they decided to move to the Midwest, eventually settling in St. Paul before making their way up here to Duluth and building this amazing estate.
All right, so where did all the wealth come from? I mean, this place is amazing.
Yeah, so Chester was a lawyer, and he was a lawyer for the Oliver Mining Company, which was one of the major players out on the Mesabi Iron Range during the late 1800s, early 1900s. And so he became their lawyer, and as part of that, he accumulated his wealth through stock options and different negotiations with them. And when eventually they sold it to U.S. Steel and J.P. Morgan, that is when he really made his money.
Wow. Unbelievable. All right, you have to tell me a little bit about, all this that has happened in 1977 and the infamous murder of Elizabeth Congdon in the mansion. What can you share with me about that?
Yeah, so unfortunately in 1977, Elizabeth Congdon, the last heiress of Glensheen Mansion, and her night nurse, Velma Pieta, were both murdered on an evening, discovered the next morning. So we don't really talk a whole lot about that on the tour because it's really outside of our period of significance. We do have people that are interested in it, and we do have books in our gift shop that tell you all about it, written by the prosecutor even. So you get a very good factual account. But here we really focus on that period of significance between 1905 to 1920 and tell you more about the Congdon family story, so you learn a little bit about the family more so than just one day in the history of this place.
All right, so there are 39 different rooms here in this Glensheen Mansion. So share with me some of the highlights, some of the most memorable rooms that the Viking guests are going to see.
Right, so on their tour here, Viking guests are going to see 25 of those rooms on our what we call our classic tour route. And so that will include the living room, which has some amazing art in it. Two pieces I would point out to folks are the Waterfall of Mino, which is a silk embroidery piece, very beautiful, and then also a lampshade called Paris by Day, Paris by Night. Depending on if the lamp's on or not, will tell you which time of day it is for them. From there, you'll exit into the library, which is one of my favorite rooms. It's filled with books, and you'll get a feel of just like as if you were one of the Congdons there, sitting, reading a book, enjoying the view of the lake at that point in time. As you go throughout the house, you eventually get to see some bedrooms on the second floor, including the master suite. And so when you walk into this, you'll be greeted by these beautiful leaded glass windows and a little closet, and then you'll see where Clara actually slept every night, because Chester had his own bedroom, so when he came back late from the legislature in St. Paul business, he wouldn't wake her in the middle of the night. So you get to see both of those rooms and get to look out towards Clara's balcony as well, and see some magnificent views of the estate.
Yeah, and the gardens here are beautiful, unbelievable, being right on Lake Superior and the beautiful fountain. This is just such a memorable spot.
And that's the big thing, is like people come for the mansion, but they forget about the grounds. So I encourage all of the Viking guests to go around the grounds, check out the formal garden with our fountain and everything going, and then check out the vegetable garden as well, because we grow vegetables there that we actually deliver to local food shelves to help share some of that, and just enjoy the space. Go down by the lake, enjoy sitting in one of our chairs, and just enjoy the sound of the waves coming up from the lake.
Having visited the Glensheen Mansion a number of times in the past, this is one of my favorite little hidden secrets. This is called Tischer's Creek. You can see over my shoulder here is the beautiful stone arch bridge, and it's right here at the Glensheen Mansion along Lake Superior. But we're not done with our tours yet, because we're headed right back over there to downtown Duluth. Right now, we are in the Lake Superior Railroad Museum, rated #1 by USA Today as the top transportation museum in the United States. And we're going to find out why. And we are here with Ken. How are you, Ken? You are the executive director of this place.
I'm very proud to be the executive director, Todd, and this is the best transportation museum in America because of all the work that went into making it the best.
Well, I got to tell you, this is going to be an exciting spot for the Viking guests to come on over and check it out, because I had no idea what I was walking into. I came in here, I thought, well, this is going to be, a traditional museum, maybe a railroad car or two. Wow, you could spend a lot of time in this place. First of all, how do you get to be the #1 transportation museum in America?
USA Today, the national publication, took a list of maritime, automotive, aviation, and railroad museums, and then sent it to a list of experts who then voted for not just which was the best train museum, but which was the best transportation museum. So even though we're focused on trains, we beat out some very prestigious automobile museums, aviation museums, and maritime museums.
So you have to tell me, if people are coming here, you have a limited amount of time, there is so much to see, but I have a challenge for you. If the Viking guests have 5 things that they cannot miss inside this transportation museum, what are they?
Let's start with the building itself. On the National Register of Historic Places, Duluth's Union Depot was built in 1892. Also, the oldest steam locomotive in Minnesota, right behind you, the William Crooks, brought up the Mississippi River on a barge. First train ever in Minnesota. Most powerful steam locomotive ever built, that huge Malley, that's a 6,000 horsepower steam behemoth.
Is that big black one over there?
That's the one with the wheels that go around, and the explanation, you actually hear the sounds of the engine when it was running.
I went by it and I could hear the steam and doing the whole thing. That was very cool.
A lot of the exhibits are open to the public, which means you can walk through them. Our China car exhibit, for instance, not a car built in China, but a car dedicated to the China served in the first-class dining cars on all the railroads back in the golden age of railroading. And the 5th thing, see, I got the building, me.
Okay, all right.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay. All right, so there's so much to see here. It really is impressive, and I'm sure that when the Viking guests come in here, they're going to be like, wow, I'm not even sure if we, arrange for enough time. There's so much to do.
We will have, for the Viking guests, we have extra docents on to make sure that they do see all the most important things in the museum, and because they are Viking guests, we open up some of the exhibits normally not open to the public, so they get a special behind-the-scenes treat.
Wow. But Ken, I have another question for you. I'm wondering, what in the world do you have in your hand there?
Well, now that you are an official railroad enthusiast, you get your own train whistle.
Wow, I'm the real thing?
You're the real thing.
Well, if I'm the real thing and I have the train whistle,
yes,
I want to know a little bit more about the cars and see the tracks. Is that okay? I want to get out there. I want to see what some of these excursions are all about.
Nothing happens in a train museum until something moves. And that's where our North Shore Scenic Railroad comes in, and that's where I want to introduce you to Josh.
Is that where I can blow the whistle?
Go ahead.
All right, let's go. You must be Josh.
That's me.
All right, well, I'm Todd, and I'm now an official railroad train enthusiast.
That's right.
How did I do?
Very good, very good. All aboard, right this way. Well, welcome aboard. The North Shore Scenic Railroad operates train excursions all throughout the summer and fall, and even at Christmas time too, on historic railroad equipment such as this dome car that we're on here right now. This is the Skyview dome car. It's a beautiful car to ride in, and we have various historic equipment from the Railroad Museum that is brought to life here on the train.
And it's in great shape. What year was this built?
This car is from 1956, so it was a premier place to ride on your trip between Chicago and the West Coast. And through the years, it's been kept in loving care and restored many times, and is still in use today for great scenic rides like we're on.
Wow. Pretty impressive. All right, so what is the Viking guest experience when they come on over here and they get on this exact car, or what are the cars you have up here?
Yeah, Viking guests can ride in various different train cars that we have, but this is our premier dome class ride. They sit up here in the upstairs dome car of the train. It's fun to walk up those steps into this grand dome area, have a seat in one of our comfy chairs, and then the guests get treated to drinks and charcuterie and all kinds of fun stuff while they're distracted with all the beautiful views out the window along our lakefront line.
All right, so where does it go? I mean, it starts right here in downtown Duluth, right by Canal Park. Well, where does it end up and where does it come back to?
That's right. The depot is the heart of any community. The train depot of where it was built, that is where the city originates from, and you get to start from the heart of Duluth and then travel up the North Shore along the lake on the beautiful views, all narrated on a speaker system on our train, so you get to learn about the area both from downtown all the way up the shore.
Josh, this sounds like a very, very fun experience. And now that I'm an official
Indeed, you are.
Railroad train enthusiast, you never know. You might come over here and you might get the red whistle as well. But Josh, is it going to annoy you if I give it one more?
Absolutely. We encourage whistle blowing.
All right, here we go. How did I do?
That was great. That was great.
All right, thanks, Josh.
Yes.
Behind me is the iconic, prominent aerial lift bridge. This is where the Viking ship comes in and the Viking ship leaves, and you'll find local residents waving goodbye when the ship leaves, and the Viking guests coming out and also saying farewell. The center part right there takes 1 minute to go up, 1 minute to go down, and once again, ships from all over the world come through under that lift bridge to enter Lake Superior. Behind me here is Canal Park. That's bars, restaurants, different cafes, different places just to hang out and enjoy yourself. And of course, right over here, you'll see the lighthouse and the beautiful Lake Superior. Now, this is a place very close to where your ship will be coming in and docking, so you're going to want to spend some time in Canal Park and enjoying all there is to offer. Right now we are in the Lincoln Park neighborhood, which is a revitalized area here in Duluth, and we're in the craft district. In the craft district, you're going to find a number of things. There's ice cream stores, there's different tap rooms, there's coffee shops, there's cute little boutiques, there's even little tasting rooms. So it's a really fun area, and I'm gonna bop in and out, and I've heard there's a great taco shop as well. And we're gonna give you a taste of what you can find in Lincoln Park and the craft district. Fitger's Hotel is likely a place that you will visit as a Viking guest, whether it's you come in a little bit early, you probably will have lunch here. It's also a spot where you will join some of your tours. Let's take a look around. When you visit the Fitger's Hotel, you might want to stop down on the lower level and you'll find the Boat Club, which is a great dining option you may want to consider. And I've asked Jason here to whip up some of the more memorable dishes. So let's start right over here. What do we have?
Love to, Todd. So these are two of our real great signature dishes on our brunch menu. The first one here is probably the most popular dish that we have here at Boat Club. It's the Crab Cake Benedict. So it starts with two of our homemade crab cakes that we make every every single day because they're so popular. Topped with poached eggs, our great hollandaise sauce, and then you also get some potatoes with it. But it is an award-winning dish.
And the aroma that's coming from this is killing me, but there's no silverware, so I won't be digging.
That's why I didn't put the silverware. Perfect. The second one is called our Lake Superior hash. We wanted to do a hash that also highlights our region, so what better way to do that with a great piece of broiled walleye. So it's potatoes, peppers, onions, it has great walleye, eggs, and then a really good lemon dill sauce over the top.
Wow,
yeah.
that looks amazing as well. Now you have to tell me, what am I looking at right here?
This concoction here, this is our award-winning Lobster Bloody Mary. It has won awards all over the nation for its creativity. So it's a great classic Bloody Mary, but we add sriracha maple bacon, an entire lobster tail on there. You also have some lemon dill Havarti, a couple of great olives and pickle, but really the star of the show is the lobster tail.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
And I have to say, this is definitely heavy.
It's a hefty one.
Yeah, it's definitely heavy. I mean, wow, and you've got a whole lobster tail in here.
Yeah.
Well, Jason, thanks for joining us today. I'm going to tell you, my suggestion would be to take this Bloody Mary, head outside on the deck, enjoy the beautiful views of Lake Superior, and with that, I'm going to say cheers if I can find a place to actually take a sip. About 10 minutes from your ship, you'll find an area that's called the Heart District. It's a historic arts and theater district, and it feels like Main Street, USA. It's on Superior Street. You'll find a cafe, a coffee shop, and a great candy store. And also, you can watch your coffee being roasted right in front of your eyes here. They roast coffee for people all over the United States. But this is also where your chocolate and beer tour starts. It's here at the Duluth Candy Company where the beer and chocolate walk begins. So right here, we have an assortment of some of the different options. We have the Duluth cider, which is in this chocolate. We have the coffee break ale, which is in this chocolate. And wow, we have the 2022 double shot double black. So this is an optional tour, but one that I would probably take advantage of. I'm ready to start. When you get off your tender and you just arrived here in Duluth, you might want to walk over to this place. It's called Northern Water Smokehouse. It's right in Canal Park. There's many things to do, but I'm highlighting this spot here because it's been here for 25 years, and smoked fish is kind of unique to this region and how they prepare it. So this might be a place you stop by. So I'm here with Ned, who they call the jack of all trades, the person to talk to when it comes to smoked fish. So he's put together an assortment of different smoked fish in front of me here, and I must say this is going to be new to me, and it's probably new to many of you. All right, so Ned, first of all, smoked fish. Explain how this process all takes place.
So it's pretty simple. To prepare the fish for smoking, we first brine it for a brief time, and then we let it dry for what we call overnight, or about 8 hours. Then you smoke it, and we do a particular style of smoking called kippering, where you sort of start it at a lower temperature and increase it onto a hot temperature, into a safe temperature over time. That's why the brining comes in, to keep the meat safe through that lower temperature. And then once it's done, we let it cool off, and then it's ready to be served.
All right. Now, also, what's interesting is, of course, here we are on Lake Superior in Duluth, in northern Minnesota, and a number of the different items that the fish that you smoke are indigenous of the Lake Superior. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. Our smoked lake trout is lake trout caught out of Lake Superior, and the smoked whitefish is caught out of Lake Superior, both around Bayfield, Wisconsin.
Well, I am ready to sample and ready to try some of these items. It's a smoked whitefish. You caught right where?
Around Bayfield, Wisconsin.
Right, definitely tasty. Superior. Not dry, definitely good.
Okay, so this is our smoked sockeye salmon candy. So the reason we call it candied is because we brine it, and then once they brine those pieces, they dredge them in brown sugar for about 3 days, and the brown sugar really permeates it. And brown sugar, which we use in all of our smoked fish, really captures smoky flavor in an interesting way. So
It's literally like putting a piece of candy in my mouth.
yeah, it's so we got some smoked Atlantic salmon here. This is probably the thing that we sell the most out of, and it's not Cotton Lake Superior, but it is smoked here on site. The salmon you're about to eat is black pepper and coriander seasoned, which is sort of a riff on pastrami, but on fish.
Okay.
And that kippering style that I mentioned lends to it being very, very moist as opposed to a really dry smoked
So
fish.
far,
So.
tops in my book.
All right, let's try some local Lake Superior lake trout. I got a chunk already cut up for you here.
Okay.
And the lake trout is I don't know what to say. It kind of tastes like the lake. It's got like a pungency to it. It really has the taste of like truly like the area that it's caught with.
Okay, all of them are unique. All of them are interesting. They all have their distinct flavor. And I have to say, I'm probably going with, which one did I like the best? This one right here?
The first one?
This one right here.
Yeah, the Atlantic salmon.
Atlantic salmon, unbelievably great. Definitely put this on your list of a place to visit when you get off the tender. It's a short 5-minute walk. Come on over here to the Smokehouse and try some of this great smoked fish. There's many ways to see the city of Duluth. You came in on the water, saw the city from a ship. You spent some time on the land. But what about seeing the city of Duluth by air? And I'm here with Sam. How you doing, Sam?
Hey, Todd. How's it going?
I'm doing great. Okay, so Captain Sam, this is an excursion that the Viking guests can certainly opt for. So tell us a little bit about what the experience is like.
Yeah, so what the guests will experience is a North Shore tour. It is a great combination of sites in Duluth, some stuff seen up the North Shore, the St. Louis River waterways, the classic staple lift bridge that's down in Canal Park. It's a little bit of everything that Duluth has to offer.
All right, so we got set here. We went in, did a great security briefing, so we're all set. So that's why I'm wearing the vest here. So we're gonna go up, and this is an optional excursion that the Viking guests can do. So we're about ready to take flight, right?
Let's go.
All right, it's a beautiful day. Come on along. Okay, Sam, looks like we're missing a door.
Yeah, we
Is this an option?
This is absolutely an option. So we do not have the door on right now. That's part of our adrenaline package where we'll experience flight without the door on. You can feel the nice summer breeze while in a helicopter and maybe a couple steeper turns or something as well along the way.
All right, so we just departed the airport and we're going to start heading ourselves over towards Duluth Harbor. Like, how fast are we going? Right now we're going about 80 knots. With the back doors off, I'm limited to 80 knots. So I'd be going a little bit faster if we had those doors on, but 80 knots is probably around 90 miles an hour. And now you can see Park Point in front of us. I love going there in the summer months. Stretches all the way from the lift bridge over to the Wisconsin side on the Wisconsin Point there. And inside Duluth Harbor here, the whole port area, it's considered the Great Lakes cargo capital. Now we're coming in towards Canal Park and the lift bridge. The lift bridge is kind of the symbol of Duluth, what a lot of people know this area for. It was first built in 1905 as a singular gondola car system going from one side to the other. And in 1929 they made updates to it to make it a vertical lift bridge, and that's what you currently see today. In the busy months of the year, that bridge will lift up and down about 26 times a day. Glad you're enjoying it. I must say this has really been a terrific experience, just being able to see Duluth from up above and to be able to see some of the spots that we have visited here in Duluth, such as the Glensheen Mansion, be able to see Canal Park, be able to see the lift bridge from this vantage point is just really a great experience. The flight has been very calm. There's been no sense of any air sickness or anything like that. The captain has been just great in informing me and informing all of us to what we're looking at, what we're experiencing. It's just been a very worthwhile experience. Well, I have to say, taking advantage of the optional excursion to see the city of Duluth from the air is really well worth it, especially the beauty of Lake Superior. You get a real sense of the vast size of Lake Superior when you see it from the air. It's quite an amazing experience. Well, you guys, thank you so much for flying with Lake Superior helicopters today. Thank you, Captain.
As our journey through Duluth, Minnesota with Viking comes to an end, we've had a chance to look at some historic landmarks, check out some stunning natural landscapes. We've even saw the city from above in a helicopter to check out the awe-inspiring views. Then we'd spend some time in the neighborhoods to get a feeling for the vibrant culture that exists here in Duluth, Minnesota. Well, until we meet again, continue exploring with Viking.TV.